miracle for Sophie's Bliss. I am here today with the beautiful, amazing, incredible Sarah Seidelmann.
Oh my gosh, you are so kind. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm like thrilled to be here, and I'm amazed that we can do these things on the computer. It's crazy.
I know, we're like thousands of miles away and we talk live. I wanted to talk to you because everything you do makes me smile so big that I just wanted people to get a piece of Sarah. Can you just tell us first where we can find you online and what you do and who you are?
Sure. You can find me at my website, which is now finally just launched, which is followyourfeelgood.com. Or you can also find me, I have another website with a dear friend called joyjunket.com. And a little bit about me. I'm a former surgical pathologist, so I practiced medicine for 10 years. I still do occasionally cover, so helping them out occasionally if they're really desperate for work, like need some backup, I will help. And I just started probably 4 or 5 years ago kind of longing to be more creative, and being a pathologist is a really interesting job. It's just I was very lacking for connection with people as much as I would like to have. And one of the things I've always loved is kind of inspiring people and reading self-help books, and just always like the human potential always excited me. And so I kind of learned about life coaching. I got trained with Martha Beck, who's a phenomenal, amazing person, has written a lot of wonderful books, and took a sabbatical from medicine that was originally going to be 3 months. It turned into 6 months, and then I just decided that what I was doing I loved so much that I just couldn't go back. So, and I'm also a mom. I have 4 children that I'm raising with my husband, and so that's, another near full-time occupation.
Oh, yes, I know that.
So.
Awesome. And one of the things I love about you is you create all these little, really fun things. So you have this little video with this elephant.
Yes. Alice.
Alice. Oh, I love Alice.
I even have a little picture of Alice. It's so funny because I thought, would somebody ask me about Alice? But this is Alice. Oh, Alice is an elephant. She's also a life obstacle assassin, it turns out.
We all need that.
She, a lot of the work that I do with clients and the kind of work that I do with people involves now animal totems, which if you had told me I'd be doing that a year ago, I would have been like, what are you talking about? That's impossible. But it turns out to be one of the most fun, magical ways to kind of work with people, and that kind of helped me so much to begin to really step into what I wanted to be doing in my life. Right. But Alice, I had a lot of elephants showing up in my life, and I just tell people, if you're interested in animal totems, is just to notice, what animals are showing up. And through a variety of different ways, elephants were coming at me, and I learned a lot more about elephants when I went to South Africa. One of the things that they will do is when they're walking around the bush, like if something gets in their way, say for instance a large tree, if they want something in the tree that they can't quite reach, they will just basically take the tree and, get the obstacle out of the way so they can get at whatever they want. And so in India, the deity Ganesha is an elephant-headed god who is, called the Lord of New Beginnings and the remover of all obstacles.
Oh my.
And so Alice is kind of, she's been a real inspiration to kind of tell my story of how I kind of went from point A to point B, and she inspires me.
Yeah, she's hilarious too.
She tries to inject humor while she's kind of poking at people like, go do your thing, get out and live, people,
Oh my gosh. So that's what you did. You just took a break from something you were loving and doing, and so what called you to do that?
Probably, it's hard to say, 4 years ago it started, where I was like so overwhelmed. I was working full time. I now had 4 kids. We had this huge house. We had this huge life where I was doing parties and being on boards and trying to be creative at the same time, and it really was just, it was all too much, and I was starting to kind of crumple under all what was going on. And so I started thinking, well, how the hell can I help I got to help myself because I'm not happy. And I hired a coach, which I never even knew what coaching was, but I thought, heck, it could work. I mean, I know I'm not crazy. I mean, I knew I wasn't depressed. It was just, I was really unhappy. And so, and even if you are depressed, I might argue a coach might help. But the coaching process was really powerful for me. And so I started to kind of just try to start being creative and doing some of the things I wanted to do within the confines, sort of acting as if I had the life that I wanted.
Right.
And through that process, we eventually got inspired we sold our vacation house, which was one thing that complicated my life.
Yeah.
And that felt so good. We were like, you know what? Let's downsize. Or what some people call right-sizing. We were living in a big fancy house with a big fancy mortgage and also just lots of square footage for me to kind of like hunt kids down, clean up all their messes, all that kind of stuff. So we ended up downsizing our house, which was a huge thing because it gave me the freedom to kind of work less.
Yeah.
So I worked more part-time. And so just little stepwise just started moving in the direction of my dream, or our dream kind of collectively.
To me, because you had the life that many people dream of. You had the family, you had the money, the big house, you had all the things, the kids, everything was going well. You were known, you were making a difference. Yet there was a part of you that was not in alignment with that.
Yeah, and not that at the time that I wasn't appreciating that. I knew I had it. I was like so fortunate, and I knew that I was so. Like, I was still so appreciative of everything I had, but I knew that something had to change. I also know, like, some people were like, oh, could you move from that beautiful house? Because we had this kitchen that was just, it was pornographic. It was so good. But, they're like, aren't you unhappy to move to this, smaller house? And I was just like, no, like, you don't understand. Like, it feels so good to me. It's really not about the stuff. I still appreciate beauty and luxury, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that for me, the recipe for my own personal happiness happened to be simplifying to some degree.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. The money doesn't make you happy. The professional, like the accolades, oh, you're a doctor, isn't it wonderful? Or, all those things are good, but it's like unless you get to do every day what really makes you joyful,
Worth it, yeah. And that was your path. What's interesting to me is that everybody has a different story, and everybody gets to pick and choose what makes them happy, right?
Yes, and that's the beauty. I love that. Like, to me, I love meeting people who are eccentric and have their own, interesting path, because it's like, we used to say at Joy Junket, don't do what we do what you do, because that's what you're here to do, is to express your own unique. And that might look like having a really fancy kitchen. That's happy for and it was for me too. But it's not like a judgment, like there is no right or wrong. Only you could know that. Like that's what I talk about clients. And you're well versed in this. But the first thing I teach my clients is, you got to find a way to feel good no matter what's happening. Right. And it might not you might not be like rockets off the moon, freaking out, you're having a fantastic day, but it's like, how can you shift it ever so slightly so, like Uncle Jimmy Bob's coming, you're stressed out, how can you give yourself a little relief from that? Like maybe tell them to stay at a hotel or whatever. If like any of my videos or anything that I create causes somebody to step back and go, wow, it could be as simple as maybe taking my dog for a walk or snuggling with my kid, because really those are the rich moments in life. Acid wash marble countertops from Italy are stunning to behold, yet it's not it's not a lasting joy. The joy that's lasting is the one that you continue to keep grabbing every moment, appreciating everything.
Oh, I love that. So, okay, thank you so much for saying that. That's perfect. So the true bliss is the one that you keep grabbing on every single moment.
I think, like you said, you choose it, and it's definitely a choice.
Do you have anything that you want people to be aware of, like any event that you have taken place right now, or?
Well, let's see. I'm heading to Patch Adams' Gesundheit Institute next week, which just to teach medical students about, and other healthcare professionals about, you know, sharing the joy and sharing of yourself and kind of injecting the soul into, you know, the science, because I think allopathic medicine, to some degree, the way it's being trained, you know, the word training people is, you know, sometimes lacking in those components.
Oh, yeah.
So that's exciting. And then, like, I'm on iTunes. I have a lot of recordings and things that I've created that are on iTunes. And the Squirrel Radio, if you're interested in the Animal Totems piece, squirrel exclamation point as in squirrel, I'm distracted, is on there. And it's a lot of fun. So if if that idea intrigues you, you could check that out.
Awesome,
and it's free to download. So, yeah.
Woohoo, baby. How does it get any better than this?
It doesn't. And so
yes,
fantastic to talk with somebody like you who is, you know, a big dreamer. And I think that somebody who is always looking to how can we, you know, really appreciate and expand. And you're so awesome at that, Sophie.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much for the time today. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I feel very, very good.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you for having me on, and yes, I hope everybody just finds their feel-good somehow today, if not on this recording, because I certainly have.
Good. Well, have a great day, Sarah.